Hey, my name is Robert. Welcome back to episode 4 of Fight Picks. Today, I will be covering Richardson Hitchins versus Oscar Duarte. If you're interested in any specific skill set of either fighter, timestamps are in the description below. You can also check out the prediction if you just want to skip ahead to that, but I recommend listening to all the information I have to offer. Let's talk about Richardson Hitchins. When Hitchins faces pressure fighters, who are focused on pressure and only pressure, he fights on the back foot pretty much the whole time. He will occasionally stand his ground and trade. Oftentimes in these scenarios, he succeeds, but it is much more dangerous for him because in these moments, he is fighting his opponent's game. An example of Richardson Hitchins standing his ground was against Gustavo Lemos. Hitchins was actively countering and attempting counters when Lemos lunged forward. In many of these exchanges, he would find himself trading with his opponent. Sometimes in these moments, Hitchins would turn his head to avoid an opponent's shot in order to land a shot of his own. He seemed to consistently look for that counter left hook after Lemos overextended with his overhand right. In this fight, he did seem to lack a little bit of power on the left hook, and he couldn't really time it perfectly. This is mostly because every time Lemos threw a wild combination, he would duck at the same time. I also noticed that Richardson Hitchins really liked to keep his lead hand low during this fight. He did this in order to land his counters faster. It actually did cost him many times in this fight though. Pawing with his lead hand or simply not bringing it back to his chin allowed Lemos to land some huge shots on him. Hitchins likes to frame with his lead hand whenever his opponents overextend with their punches so he can control the range better. It is very risky though because if he isn't intercepting them, the left side of his chin is very vulnerable. Hitchins is most successful with his straight punches. Whether it be a jab or a straight right hand, they're very effective. Hitchins' straight right hand is the most consistent power punch that he throws. He connects with his shot often and is very precise. He is best at throwing it against boxer punchers who stand in the mid range. It'll be harder to land it against Duarte because Hitchins likes to throw it from the mid range, and Duarte will force his way into the inside. Duarte will force Hitchins onto the back foot and make it much harder to land that shot. His jab, on the other hand, is one of his best punches. He throws it with authority and he also throws it often. When Hitchins misses his straight right hand, though, he is very vulnerable. He loses his footing and ends up off balance. He cannot overthrow the shot against Duarte, or Duarte will make him pay. Hitchins also seems to be a little bit sloppy when defending on the back foot. As I mentioned earlier, he sometimes likes to frame with his lead hand, which leaves his chin open. Sometimes when he is defending a flurry, he will stand way too stationary and give his opponent an easy way to steal a round. Let's talk about Oscar Duarte now. Oscar Duarte is the ideal Mexican fighter. He prioritizes damage and only damage. From the opening bell, his goal is to hurt you. This is his style, and it is exactly why he's being pushed towards the title. Okay, let's talk about his style now. Looking at his style, Duarte loves his high guard. He makes good use of it to block power shots, typically hooks. However, it is the straight punches that tend to slip through the guard. Jabs and other straight punches often land through his guard. Kenneth Sims Jr. was able to land clean jabs and counters through Duarte's guard, which made their fight pretty competitive. If you stand in front of Duarte and leave openings, he is a vicious fighter. His hook combinations are thrown with the purpose of hurting you. He doesn't pull back on his punches at all. In this fight, Hitchins should absolutely avoid staying in the phone booth with Duarte for an extended period of time. Duarte also has some of the best inside work I've seen in a long time. His ability to mix up punches mid combination while his opponent is hurt is really impressive. It shows that he has more IQ than the typical brawler kind of fighter. When Duarte hurts a fighter, he knows. Sometimes you'll see a fighter hurt their opponent not be able to recognize it in the moment. Duarte is the exact opposite. He is always ready to pounce on you if he hurts you at any moment. Even if he's buckled you in the slightest, he will still be ready to pounce on you. Looking back at Duarte's only loss of his career against Ryan Garcia, Duarte was kind of just following Garcia around the ring thoughtlessly. He wasn't able to get much offense off at all. I have a feeling Hitchins will take a similar game plan, but Duarte has improved a lot since that fight. Okay, so I'm going to be going over the fight now. There are a lot of factors to cover, so I kind of already covered them already, but I'm going to go specifically this fight. We've seen Richardson Hitchins get shaken up by front foot punchers before. Gustavo Lemos gave Hitchins the toughest fight of his career. Lemos hurt Hitchins multiple times in that fight and arguably won that fight too. Oscar Duarte has a very similar style to Gustavo Lemos. I'd even say that he is a higher level than Gustavo Lemos and has shown better durability and higher IQ. Duarte will make use of the overhand right in this fight. This is because Hitchins has been hit with it clean before. Hitchins, on the other hand, will take advantage of Duarte's high guard and will be landing those piston jabs to the head and body. He will be sneaking in quick, straight right hands and hook combinations too. Kenneth Sims Jr. made great use of counter jabs in his fight with Oscar Duarte to mess up his rhythm. Sims gave Duarte a good fight, but I wouldn't say it was as devastating as Lemos's fight against Hitchins. When Oscar Duarte fought Ryan Garcia, he eventually got caught with the counter left hook as he led with an arching right hand. Hitchins has made it very clear over his career that he likes to counter his opponent's overhand right with a quick left hook. Even though Duarte got rocked by a counter of this type, I do not think we can compare the punching power of Ryan Garcia to Richardson Hitchins. There's always a possibility for Hitchins to earn himself a big moment with this kind of counter, but he will have to lean into his power to find it. Ryan Garcia also really sat on his left hook, which is why I got the reaction that it did. This fight is incredibly hard to pick, man. Both guys have shown vulnerabilities against opponents with similar fight styles to each other. Hitchins against Lemos, and then Kenneth Jr. versus Duarte. I just can't forget that scare that Hitchins had against Lemos. I don't know if he was injured or something during that fight, but he just looked so hittable. Lemos arguably beat Hitchins, and Duarte is going to see that fight and believe that he can do the same thing. Hitchins also looked a little odd when defending off the back foot. If he covers up like he did against Lemos, he will not win this fight. Hitchins is a sharpshooter. He obviously has great footwork, but it is not his main attribute. If he wants to beat Duarte decisively, though, he will have to rely on his footwork. This is a styles make fights kind of fight. Oscar Duarte went to a close fight against Kenneth Sims Jr., and Richardson Hitchins went to a really close fight against Gustavo Lemos too. I'm not exactly sure who to pick here. I really feel like it could go either way. I can imagine a Hitchins decision 100%. I could totally see that. Or a Duarte decision too. I can even see a Duarte stoppage. That being said, my final prediction, I am picking Oscar Duarte to win this fight by decision. This will be a close fight, and I believe it's going to go the distance. With Hitchins scoring here and there, Duarte will be pushing the pace, as he always does, and I feel like this is going to be one of those razor close kind of fights, similar to other fights where you have to see if you prioritize the volume of a power puncher or the quick, precise counters of a boxer puncher like Hitchins. I could see either fighter taking this fight. That being said, if either fighter wins dominantly, that is very impressive. If Hitchins goes out there and schools Duarte, that is going to be extremely impressive. If Duarte goes out there and stops Hitchins with ease, I mean, I don't, that is just incredible. So I am really looking forward to this fight. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know who you got in the comments.